on, everybody? This is Ideal from the Ideal Podcast. Today, this is the first video, a day in the life series that we are doing. And on a day in the life, what I like to do is bring on a guest who can share some of their insights about their life and what they've struggled through. Usually someone that I know to some degree. They usually have some stuff to say about how they know me. And hopefully you have some positive takeaways from this conversation. That leads us to Mr. Anthony Contreras, which is strange because I don't usually call you your full government name on camera.
You didn't even call me my first full name.
I'm just kind of pitting out your full. I'll probably edit out your last name, just do like a little radio bleep. But
I'm not on social media, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But to those who don't know, I don't call him by his name either, so calling him Anthony's weird. I'm gonna call him Ideal. But he knows me as Blest or Blest Theory. Our old, for those who don't know, we're in a rap crew together.
And
circa 2009 to 09 to what, 2015?
Somewhere
2014?
mid 20 teens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a long time ago.
It was, and then it's like, it doesn't feel that long ago, but it was. It was like 15 years now almost.
It's a lifetime ago, bro.
It really almost is. Like, but you know, you have stuff on the docket and the recorded, and so we can always go back and listen to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, little capsules in time, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a time where a lot of bonding over music, right?
And bonding over music. We were bonding over music, but we also bonded over just kind of shared mutual interests of any 22 to 25-year-old, and we lived together. Also, people don't remember that, might not know that, but we did live together for a good chunk of time, and so those are kind of the glory days, and we would do what we did. We wrote a lot of music. We recorded a lot of music. We also watched a lot of How I Met Your Mother. So, fuck Lily. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean,
we can cuss on here, right?
No, it's too late now. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, you can cuss on here. Living together is its own kind of unique experience between people, right? Like, you get to know people to a different degree than you would like just being friends.
Exactly. And you have your own personal gripes and also your laughs and kind of things that go on behind the scenes. We also shared several different roommates where that added this different dynamic to every time. It changes the whole dynamic. But that was, it was a cool time. It was a fun time. And I miss that condo sometimes. It was a crazy place to live.
You got pretty comfortable there, and fast forward, I don't want to do the math. Yeah. Fast forward a bunch of years.
13 years.
Yeah.
12 years. Yeah.
And here we are, and wanted to, appreciate you reaching out to do this. And you happen to be the first that's being recorded, like I told you. So no pressure on either of us, right?
No.
But I've always admired your intelligence, but then also your ability to be sociable between those worlds, or bridging those worlds, for lack of a better word.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I guess I never really think of it that way, but as comfortable or as confident as I can come off in certain scenarios, also behind the scenes I'm like this big ball of anxiousness, and it's like almost to the extent where like I could say the same about you, or I admire your ability to kind of stay at a distance and keep things at arm's length until you kind of understand the situation. I kind of always just dive in head first. And it's allowed me to meet a lot of cool people and allow myself to kind of express myself in certain ways that I've noticed other people don't. But it also kind of gives me an avenue. If I don't keep myself in check, I can create some havoc real fast, But I think it's a good balance, and I just, I can't really put a price tag on it. It's me being me. Like, I don't think about it in the terms of like, I'm going to approach the situation like, hey, how's it going? Or I just do it. It's just always been kind of my what do you call it? when you just do it naturally. It's just my
Instincts,
my
maybe?
instincts, my reaction to everything.
Yeah, and you are able to analyze, which is usually the burden of intelligent folks. More so, my burden is being able to analyze, but you don't allow that to be a barrier, like you pointed out, and just being able to reach out and connect with people right off the bat. Like, how has that always been the case for you?
Yeah, I mean, even to a fault. Like as a child, I was a little bit rambunctious and precocious and a little annoying at times. But it's like you learn to dial it in, and you learn to be just. You only live once. I mean, depending on your theory of what you think, but I'd rather have that conversation or say hello to someone, or rather than think why didn't I do that day, or like sometimes you kind of fall on good luck. I met you initially by doing a rap battle in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
The way that came about was I was working at this call center, and you hang out with a lot of people in those places. So I was hanging out with this group of people, and I ended up meeting DJ Mike Purvey through his girlfriend, and we ended up discussing our love for underground hip hop, which is kind of a niche thing at the time because the internet wasn't so accessible.
Yeah.
And so it was like cool to have this kindred spirit. And then 2 weeks later, he's like asking her, because she worked with me, hey, you should ask that dude if he wants to battle. And I never battled before. I'd never even written a rap before. I'd been freestyling everywhere, And if I hadn't have said yes to that, we probably never would have met.
Mm-hmm.
The whole chain of events, I never would have met Bill, our other mutual friend, Gabe, by saying yes to that. So I think that if I live by a certain philosophy that closed mouths don't get fed kind of deal. So if you don't say yes to things, you don't have that conversation or try to be in the moment, you might miss a lot, and you never know what you missed, but you might always feel like you're missing something.
It's true. The butterfly effect.
Yeah,
huge fan of that movie, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't know about
Ashton
you.
Kutcher. I'm sure he's going through his own trials right now, but I don't know. I just try to be me, man, and I try to not. I've never strayed away from being myself, and it's gotten me some odd gazes throughout my life. But it's like you're not the one living my life. I am, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and be happy in what I'm doing, and confident in myself. And tomorrow's not promised. We live very blessed lives, but it's not like it just happened. You worked hard for everything you have, and so did I, and it takes time. You got to be patient.
Yeah, and I think in preparing for this interview, your ability just to be yourself in different domains, like you came in the Dwight Schrute hoodie.
I love that,
Yeah, but also I think of you with comic books. I think of you with what is it, the Joker impersonation. It's just you're unapologetically you in all areas. That's another place that anxiety can be a burden for some people, and you just, I don't know. Go ahead.
And what's cool about that too, that you reminded me, is I've always just tried to kind of be a part of everybody and everything. I can recall a time, and I think it was 12th grade, I was in there was this class that they offered at the high school I went to called Wild Wild West. And all it was basically a free elective where you go and you watch Westerns. He gives you a quiz at the end of the week. And the teacher, Mr. Tomlin, I'm pretty sure that was his final year, because he would just give us the answers just so we could. But I remember, I'm in my football jersey, and it might have been 11th grade, I don't remember. But I was walking into class, and I saw these kids out in the front of the hallway. They're sitting on the ground, and they're playing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, you guys are playing Magic. And then, one of them's like, whatever, you can make fun of us and this and that. And I was like, huh? He's like, we get it. You're cool. And I guess because I was wearing a football jersey, they thought I was some jockey type. And so I was like, no, I wanted to see. And I reached into my bag, and I want to see if I could get next game. And they're, what the heck? And, I ended up beating both those motherfuckers. But it's funner when everything's inclusive. You want to keep certain things. I also was a detriment later on in life because you meet the wrong people sometimes too.
That's a good point.
And you want to make sure you learn to judge characteristics and situations accordingly. But I learned that later on. But I still always try to be as open and as friendly as possible. And I don't always come off that way. But nobody's perfect. What are you gonna do?
Do you think the trick's compartmentalizing? Like, and I told you, and it's one of my therapy questions I'll toss in because it just came to my head.
It definitely is a useful tool to kind of judge and use your powers of deduction to reason with situations, because you don't want to over compartmentalize where you have everything completely hauled off, but you want to learn how to situationalize things and rationalize where, hey, maybe I don't want to bring this guy around this guy or this situation to this one, but sometimes it's cool to merge things. And I think any healthy dose of just rationalizing and viewing situations and thinking before you react is always helpful. But you don't want to also let that become your crutch and your you don't want to treat life like it's an essay question. Or, you want to just kind of dive in, but you also want to know, you need to trust yourself. If you know yourself better than anybody else, obviously, and you don't want to, like I said, you just want to trust yourself, because if your judgment is better than what it could be, you can always work towards it being better. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it seems like just applying nuance to where it matters and setting limits, because I think that's where that can be kind of an issue for myself. Is I'll sit back analyzing, but I don't know where there's not a governor on my analyzing, and then it just over analyzing, and I'm just kind of sitting back for way too long.
And then before you know it, it's 11 p.m. and you're still sitting on your couch wondering, what should I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also do need to provide yourself some limitation, because, you never want to be the first person to the party, and you don't want to be the last one there. Just go and enjoy the thick of it, and, and I'm obviously using that as a euphemism and not like an actual thing, but it's kind of something to sink your teeth into. Is just, you want to have fun, or you want to be intense towards whatever situation it is, but you also want to know when to buckle down and treat things seriously.
Yeah. And you, as a continuing musician, like, in addition to, being able to input yourself into social situations, which can be a source of anxiety for some people, you also put yourself on stage, which is a more common place for people to have anxiety. And, like, what do you do with this anxiety then? Like, how does it?
I still get butterflies before every time. And, I've been doing music for, let's see, I think open stage is what, 08, 09?
Yeah.
So 15, 16 years. I just, honestly, once I'm in on the microphone and I'm singing or I'm rapping or I'm playing my piano, whatever the hell I'm doing, all that goes out the window, because my brain's focused on this. But I never have not had butterflies or anxiety going into the thing. Like, I have a show next weekend. I don't play as much as I used to, which is good. I don't want to be that middle-aged dude up there trying to live out his glory days, but I also love I love playing music, so why not do it, And,
yeah.
But even right now, just thinking about it, I'm like anxious. I had my friend over, Corey, last night. Corey is the drummer, and we're trying to hash out a set, and I was just like, I don't even know if I want to do this. I'm kind of nervous, but the minute I get up there and we start going, I'll be fine. I think it's not necessarily that I'm flushing it out; it's that I'm setting it aside, and then because I have to, like, it's you're at the moment of, you can't walk away. I can't run away from it. I have to just face this scenario and do it real quick. So I put it aside, and then by the time I'm done, it's like, oh, well, it's over. That's all it was. It's not necessarily like I tackle it with the conscientious kind of I'm gonna get this done, and I just do it and hope that I do a good job, or at least that I'm not making us look stupid, and then before you know it, it's done, and I'm good to go, and then it's time to have fun.
Do you think there's a carelessness to it? Like not in a reckless sense, but in a what happens
Yeah,
at the end of it.
I think you have to at least sprinkle some of that in there. Like I think you have to acknowledge that you might screw up, you might have a flub, the sound equipment can get struck by lightning. Like I can only control the tangibles that are in front of me that I can control. I can't be in charge of what my bandmates feeling or what the crowd's feeling or what the sound man's doing. So I focus on me, and like I'm going to perform the best to my ability. I'm going to put on a show for these people. I'm also just going to try to do the best for myself. It's fun up there. We performed together many times, and I remember both of us having, like remember the times at Q Time. Remember we jam.
Yeah.
And I think I was more nervous about certain rap songs than I've ever been about doing like rock music, because rap's a whole different animal. Like, and you have to kind of, the way I would write, you'd have to be full on cadence all the time.
Yeah.
But those are, it's like I tell my bandmates when they get kind of stressed about this, like not a lot of people are going to grow into their old age, 80s, 90s, and be able to look back and say, damn, I was a musician. I stood on the stage and performed for people. And we did. We opened for Tommy Chong that one time. We had some good times, man. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, I met a lot of cool people, including you, through music. So it's catharsism for me. It makes me feel at peace, even if it's just for that hour, 2 hours, half hour, whatever I'm doing. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, even if it's in the smallest scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'll point out a couple of things that I noticed that appears to really serve you well with anxiety is like psychologists would call it like the locus of control. It's like what's within my control and what's not within my control, and understanding that line there, so that way you can modify what you have control over and feel good about it and not fret over external stuff.
Yeah, well, and it keeps your anxiety level here rather than here.
Yeah.
So it's a more manageable level of anxiety.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Perspective too, and being able to shift and look at the bigger picture as far as being musicians and looking back at this time and being able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, like what seems to be a healthy way of compartmentalizing in the moment, or being able to move from one compartment to another very easily, whereas others kind of tumbled over the wall.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that there's always going to be tough times. There's always going to be obstacles. Something I tell my daughter is like, nothing worth having is ever going to be easy. And, you kind of have to just tread forward. I've made mistakes. I've fucked up a lot in life. And I've had to see myself grow from it, and I've had to see myself get destroyed by it. But the point is I saw it, and I reconciled with myself, like, okay, well, I know not what to do now, what not to do. And I know what works. And you got to learn every experience. If you're not learning something from it, whether it's bad or good, then you're not treating it properly, because that is what's going to make you who you can be. Not who you are, but who you can be, because there's always a fork in the road. You have a choice, and if you don't follow the choice, it's not necessarily the right or wrong choice, but one choice is going to lead you here and one choice is going to lead you there. And both can be successful. One could be good. One could be bad. Who knows? But you have to trust yourself to find the best alternative for yourself and for the people you love to thrive. And it sounds kind of cliche and dumb, but it also, there's truth to it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
what would you say is your biggest lesson learned from anxiety, for better or for worse?
I guess don't take everything too seriously. Life is short, but life's also long. You have plenty of opportunities and time prove others different, prove yourself different, see things in a different light, teach yourself how to be better. Like, I guess don't hang on to anything, because when you hold on to your past wretches and even future anxieties, you kind of build this handcuff on yourself where you're limited to what if, and you want to be aware of every possibility, but you also want to allow yourself to explore what could be, and anxiety, once you train your mind to think that anxiety isn't a negative, you're going to have it.
Yeah.
If you use it as a tool on how to best ascertain the best direction you could move forward in, then it kind of becomes a blanket, and you can use it to keep yourself in check for whatever you're going to approach. I mean, none of us have all the answers. I wish that I had more than I do, but I kind of like that gamble in life where who knows, you don't know, but you're going to approach things with confidence and know that you have the capability to deal with whatever life throws at you. And when you don't, it's good to have people you can lean on. And that's another thing I tell is nobody gets by on their own. We all need help sometimes. And for a long time, I kind of pushed family away and loved ones away, thinking for whatever reason, I don't deserve that. But in reality, I was just hurting them. So you bring them closer again. You learn to forgive others, but you also learn to forgive yourself. And I just think that I've had a pretty cool life, all things considered. And so I have no reason to feel like I'm like in that 1% of, or whatever it is, of like, shit, these things suck. Because it can always be worse, and I've seen worse. I've had friends pass away. You see the homeless situation in our city right now. It's pretty rough,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not there. And, thank God.
Yeah.
So you just take it a day at a time, man.
Taking the perspective too as you see fit,
Mm-hmm.
Could be worse, but it also could be better. So let me strive towards that better.
Exactly.
You had pointed out like what you could lose because of anxiety, and that is, just my experience as a therapist and like reading is a pretty common approach in telling people, hey, you think that you're gaining something from giving in to your anxiety, but you're missing out on things as well. You're missing out on these opportunities, or these opportunities for happiness in particular. And I mean, I think that's one thing that is not something you are hampered by. I think like you totally want to connect with every moment, every person, every opportunity for either a new experience, or just a taste of happiness.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get it wrong. Like sometimes you end up eating a bowl of shit. Like you can't. The end goal is definitely success or happiness or whatever allows you to feel better or like you're positive, but you're not always going to achieve that. But my point is, like, if you don't at least try, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get over the rainbow. There's no pot of gold. It's just deer droppings. It's whatever. Like it is what it is. But at least I made it over the rainbow. At least I tried.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a life's an interesting kind of thing that we're dealt with, and we all only get so many moments where you can be like, all right, here's the chance. But I can think back to a few moments in my life where if I would have made that choice differently, my life would look totally different now. Just like we were saying earlier, like me doing that battle.
Yeah.
Had I not done that, I might not have done Blaze the Nation either, which is the band I'm in. I don't know. And then I might never met Fran, who's my wife. And so life kind of unfolds in this way that you don't expect, but
you never know which moments can unfold into a whole plethora of connections and happiness and changes for yourself. I mean, in thinking back, I think I was dating this girl, and we happened to see the flyer for that show, and I was feeling brave or confident for whatever reason in that moment, and I had asked to judge, and then that is what connected me.
See, I never knew that.
That's what connected me into meeting our mutual contacts, which brought us together for freestyling and unnamed liquor. Wait, I guess I was trying to censor the alcohol part out.
Unnamed liquors.
Yeah.
There's a lot
unnamed
of
alcoholic beverages, but you know.
But who is it? College age kids aren't doing that shit. Like we're having fun, but we're also utilizing talents we had that some of us didn't know we had them. Like you don't. I don't know what led me to want to rap, but it didn't take long for me to realize, I'm kind of good at this, and let's do it. But I think that, because, you're a hell of a writer. I always remembered that when we'd write songs. That's a huge aspect of it. And then there's the confidence aspect. There's a skill level. There's all these different things. And I always kind of envied the ability that you had to write. Like I could write pretty damn good, but I always felt like you're a step above me. But in like a proud way, I was like, man, that's fucking cool. Like I'm happy that he can do that. And I think that too, like, don't look at someone else's dinner plate and be like, oh, just enjoy what you have.
Yeah. So comparison isn't good for anybody.
No.
And, social media has made a mess and made it so much easier to compare
all
of that. And maybe that lends to why you're not on it and maintaining what you do. It
also creates these unattainable standards that like 1% of the world has, those kind. I don't know. I do have an Instagram, but that's about all I have, and I just go on there to look up stupid memes. And,
gotcha.
Funny stuff like that.
Yeah.
Share it with friends, but we have our little group.
Yeah.
I tried Snapchat for a while. It's just I couldn't figure it out. And then everyone where I work with a lot of younger people, and they're always calling me old. I was like, I guess I'm old now, and it's like, then you see, I'm like, did I act like that when I was 21, 22? I probably did.
You for sure did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably worse.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Life's a trip. God, nah.
Can't go too long without a blood in, blood out
reference.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be learned from you and how you manage your anxiety and how you carry yourself. And I've been in the fortunate position of being able to just observe how you carry yourself. I mean, there's been days where you just kind of push me to do things that I wasn't really, like, you can tell I was thinking about doing, but you knew I wasn't trying to do it in that moment.
Get out of your head, bro.
Yeah. And I kind of strive to get to a place that I can be that socialite, such a strong word, but it comes to mind.
It's true.
Just being able to socialize like that in the moment, kind of carry yourself, but balance it with that analysis and that social intelligence.
Yeah. And you always, once you're in the thick of it, you never had a problem kind of living in it. It's just getting there. There's always your biggest thing. Like, you would think like, no, I don't want to be around people. It's like, dude, fuck it. Let's just go. Let's just see what's up.
Yeah.
If it sucks, we'll leave. Or if it's uncomfortable, or if it's weird, we'll bow.
Yeah.
But let's at least go check it out, But I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
Talking to me for my first video podcast here. Yeah. So that will be the Ideal Podcast Day in the Life series with Mr. Anthony, aka Blest Theory. Talked about anxiety today. Talked about healthy ways to look at anxiety. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace.